Welcome to the Cornell University campus. We're here in Ithaca, New York, which is in the Finger Lakes region. I would start out saying that if we happen to be in the space shuttle flying over North America and look down, we would see something that looked very much like a human hand. The Finger Lakes are a series of long, narrow lakes carved out by the glacier in the last ice age, have receded over the last 10,000 years, and the result is that we have a lot of steep waterfalls that flow into the valleys carved out by the glaciers. And we're standing in front of a waterfall here just near Forest Home. The area was settled in 1790s by Revolutionary War soldiers who were given land in lieu of pay for their services. Prior to that, the Iroquois would have used this for hunting and fishing. It would have drawn a lot of attention from the wildlife. So it was used for things that were basic sustenance on a smaller human scale. The European settlers set up small mills with less than 6 feet of water head pressure to grind corn and saw wood. In fact, right behind us we have a trail that dates back to the 1790s. It's actually listed in the deeds of the property as being open to the public for connection to the mills and their homes. So it's interesting that it's survived this long. We talked about why we have so many waterfalls and gorges in the Finger Lakes and around Ithaca, and the saying that we use sometimes is, Ithaca is gorgeous because the rock isn't. But one of the things that you'll see throughout here are flat plains and joints in the rock that are very much the structure of the gorge. And in fact, up there you can actually see how the stream takes a very sharp, almost 90-degree angle change in direction because it's going against that very flat cliff. What those joints are actually compression fractures from the formation of Pangea. When the world came to visit, when all the continents were together in one piece, the result of that was compression and fracturing in the bedrock we have here in the Ithaca area. And so that really puts a very definite stamp on our gorges. We have a lot of straight line features, flat features, because of that, and that's actually quite different than many other areas. One of the other things about that, we've not only the joints, but the fact that the rock is on the soft side. These are marine shales formed in the saltwater environment during the Devonian period. And so we have alternating hard layers and soft layers, which you can actually see in this face of the waterfall. The harder ones obviously are still durable there, and the soft ones have long washed away. But even the harder rock is not really hard, it's just relatively hard. And so you see in front of us there's I'm going to call it a borehole or a pothole. Looks like someone had taken a giant auger about 4 feet in diameter and drilled right down into the rock. So the way those form is that you have pebbles or cobbles or round stone that are sort of tumbling at the waterfall, and they become trapped in there, and the current swirls them around and in fact creates a natural auger. The spiral swirling action, the stones are like the teeth, and they grind their way down into the rock. And then as the waterfall migrates upstream, as it does when the layers collapse, these potholes will be left stranded. If you were to go online and look up Fall Creek Flow Station or Fall Creek Forest Home, you would actually get a reading for how much water is coming over that dam right now. That flow station was put in 1908. The record for minimum flow is 3.3 cubic feet per second, set in 1999, and we are right about at that level right now. So that's an important consideration for us. We're at about a 100-year low, record low for flow at this point. We talked about the history of mills. We see a big slot in the rock, and we see a probably 24-inch diameter riveted iron pipe that was the tailstock of a mill. All right, that would, after the water had passed through the water wheel, it would be discharged back into the creek, and that actually would emerge into the creek underwater. So those are the remnants of what was called the red grist mill, so grinding grain and flour, that operated in this spot until 1900, at which point it was dismantled, and they left just enough of a historic remnant for for us to see and for this area to be on the National Register of Historic Places. I wanted to point out the downstream piece of this below the waterfall. That's what we call Hemlock Gorge. That's actually a flooded gorge because beyond that is Beebe Lake. So when Beebe Lake was originally a marsh, when it was dammed up, the water flooded up through here and filled this gorge in. So as deep as it is above the water, we have that kind of depth below there as well.